I don't know if this makes sense, but Jpegmafia is the Kanye West of Yeezus Kanye's. Like, if there was an alternate reality where Yeezus had the cultural impact that 808s and Heartbreaks did, Peggy would be the Kendrick Lamar of that reality. Dude might legitimately be a psychopath with how his music sounds, but one of the most boundary pushing artists that I've witnessed. But dude's an absolute magician on how he takes these outlandish samples, turn them into abrasive but digestible songs. And then a match that dude is really underrated for how well he can spit. Dude's really a phenomenal puncher, and his aggression really complements his production style well. He's also building up a sick catalog. Dude really hasn't missed yet. I don't expect him to start here. Let's get to it.
If I was an NBA player, I'd be Dylan Brooks, but worse.
Let's go.
I'm Debo. We are
Let's go.
All missed like the Shaq at the free throw. Script my plate, never shot whack. No, put a dog in, never slave to the
Not gonna lie, Jpegmafia do got that energy of that dude who go in the gym and not good at basketball. He really just be out there fouling folks and trying way too hard, but in an I can respect it type way.
They all missed like the Shaq at the free throw. Script my plate, never shot whack. No, put a dog in, never slave to the E. Dos mio, sipping more Dilo. Stick like I'm starving, I'm finna let my rib show.
You win loss, look at Jake Paul. We face off, we'll make you face God.
Who that running they trap? Play with good like that. Y'all in trouble where I look good like that.
Bro, this guitar is sick.
They gon' put me in a Guinness. I need the maximum digits. You get hit with a face palm. It's a new year, but I'm still fake calm. 4-5 always still like State Farm. When they can't read
That's
you like a
bar.
book.
Come on, dog. 45 like a good neighbor. It's there.
I'ma take off even if I land wrong and take everything I can get my hands on.
I like that take off land wrong line.
But it ain't yet. Play with good like that. I hate when niggas be stressing about what you be
Oh
doing.
my goodness, this modulation is tough. Oh my goodness. That bass line is dirty.
I hate when these bitches be begging your boy for some cash and then turn around and say eat the rich. They get mad when niggas do it for themselves cause their parents is still chipping in. Oh, you mad? Your bitch play follow the leader after you unfollowed your bitch. The underground know my go on.
Talk that Kendrick don't follow Whitney-ish.
These niggas be spending on GoFund. They say fun, bitches said which one? My top 5 here $4.
I like both them last lines. He said he asked my girl which one. And then that dialing, because I produce hot fire in this case. Bruh, that song right there was like punk rock for them YNs. Punk rock for them young niggas. Song sound like a Green Day was from the projects. I'm rocking with that heavy. Production is so left field, and this dude just keep finding ways to innovate and push boundaries. It's really dope because he really took a maximal beat and kind of piecemealed it into 3 kind of minimal sections. He could have put all 3 of those beats, that cymbal hit, the guitar solo part, and then we put in the bass line, and it had like these glitched out noises layered over it in that 3rd verse. He could have put all those beats together, but the fact that each of those parts came in separately, I think made the song even more dynamic and unpredictable. Lyrically, this was kind of a return of form for Peggy content-wise. I think them last 2 albums, Scaring the Hoes and LP, he's been less abrasive, and by less abrasive, he ain't been threatening to kill as many groups of people on his last couple of albums, but it's going at everybody energy, which was pretty much the crux of his verses. Felt reminiscent of like a Veteran or a Black Ben Carson. Several fire punches in there. That Dylan Brooks line is a fire opener. Dude be opening his albums with some crazy openers. And then that 45 State Farm line, that You F My Girl Which One. Dope opener. I rock with it. This is MIEDO.
You niggas is bitches, I don't wanna kick.
This about to be an absurd sample.
You niggas don't swing, you stacking up misses. Keep bumping, who the fuck is that? Fake broad talking Tubi rappers. Got a machine behind them and still I can't fill up capacity with their raps.
That Tubi rap is hilarious.
Grew up white, now they act black. Yeah, it's just
Talk
with
that
my barber.
Drake is.
It's just with my barber. I do it a vengeance.
That verse is big. Oh my goodness.
Shot with class, give me the tension. I do a lot for the mentions. I spaz in other dimensions. About to take it to another level. My attraction came with a pension. Now some niggas kinda respect it and get it retired. I step in the room and anything inspired on you. He's just hacking and shorty in mind. Now tell me what's flavor of fire.
To have this Mr. Mix sample with these guitars is so absurd. The fact that he would even think to put those two things together tells me that he probably needs a wellness check. Something ain't going right up here. Something's off. This is a sick Negro. But it's another guitar solo right here. This joint made me want to go to a Kiss concert. Oh my goodness.
Thank God I did you that bitch. Get it out, get it off my chest. I'm JIHAD, falling down them steps. I'm out of here, though. I didn't know.
I'm G.I. Joe falling down them steps and shit. He said he G.I. Joe like soldier reference right there. He was in the military too. But then the Joe falling down them steps, talking about Joe Biden, who can't walk up or down anything, who got the most expensive life alert in history called the Secret Service.
You got the swag of a nigga from Chatter Bay.
That's
you wanna aggravate.
hilarious.
Stick talk, let chopper elaborate.
That's funny. That's fire. The Chatterbait line is crazy. When the stick tall, let the chopper elaborate. That's hard. Bro be having some gun bars, man. Talk, Peggy. Bro, do y'all hear these electronic sounds in the background? Bro, what? Huh? Hey, I made the comparison to Yeezus, and I really was just saying that because Yeezus is experimental and Kanye is a dope producer. But this really has parallels to Yeezus, where I think one of the most subtle things that album did is, one, it blended a bunch of different genres, particularly reggae with hip hop. And then two, like what Peggy did on that first track and on this track, he's taking different sections of music where all of these sections can probably be put together. But instead, he's having one section of production, then another set of production, and it's giving it this skeletal, kind of seeing how the clock is made type feel to it. But the fact that he took this 2 Live Crew sample, that Miami hip hop, I don't even know what the genre is called, booty shaking music, and then weave that seamlessly into a really heavy guitar part. And then at the end, he got into this EDM bag where you have those electronic sounding synths, and for all that to sound cohesive, that's nuts. And I'm really feeling what he's doing with playing with his voice on this album, at least 2 tracks in, where he's adding these different effects and almost making his voice sound like an instrument too. That's another sick one. This is I'll Be Right There. The fact that he's glitching his sample like this.
Hey, bitch, I'm back outside. They getting surprised when they hearing these beats like epiphany. Back and forth with this African booty scratcher. I left all of that talking for bitches beat. I was at the chateau with the blow. You said you would show, but you never did shit to me. If you show for that face to face, wouldn't be shit for some shots. Same or lower tickets.
I don't shoot Freddie Gibbs in the face.
You back at it, posting me. I done had that boy face down, ass up, like your baby mama be. Fuck these niggas, I'm spazzing, hitting that hotel.
Hey,
like
the Freddie diss is crazy. I know they was beefing, but I didn't expect that. That face down bar is a reference to Benny the Butcher, I believe, exposed his baby mama as a porn star. Freddie's baby mama's a porn star.
All head in a sack, bitch, I go Amber Rose to these MAGA raps. Stand on that shit, ain't no back and back. I don't care what you feel, I ain't factor that, and that's real. Barry Sanders, every run is a real. Colonel Sanders, keep the recipe sealed. These niggas connected like body.
The Barry Sanders, every run is a real, and then the Colonel Sanders, every recipe sealed. Braggadocious rap with those 2 slick lines.
These niggas connected like body for real. That nepotism will help you in the field. I let it hit, brewing that coffee, I'm taking a sip. Everybody thinking Peggy sweet, thinking it's splendid till I let it drip. Y'all niggas thinking you one step ahead.
Y'all think Peggy sweet, thinking it's Splendid till I let it rip. How you be ripping the Splendid packets open and then double entendre for letting the gun shoot.
On that bitch. Y'all want none of them
Hey,
problems.
these violins
Y'all
are
want none of them ish. None of your people gon' miss. You better off with a tish. Go to the rocker with misses. She catching the tip like a scrapper. I had issues with my barber. You got issues with the clippers.
Alright, that song was smooth. That wasn't really scaring the hoes music. That was like just alarming the hoes. They were just slightly concerned in that song right there. That song was definitely palatable, especially compared to these other tracks. Production wise, I like that sample flip the most. He took that really smooth R&B sample and then chopped it up in a way where he basically was dicing that thing. He chopped it up and used it in a really glitched out way. But then when he actually let the sample play through the I'll Be Right There part, it came in buttery smooth. And then those ethereal, spacey sound effects sounded dope. He gave it this vibe like you high smoking moon rocks, but like not the strain moon rocks, like actual rocks from the moon. Lyrically, I'm not gonna lie, dissing Freddie Gibbs to an R&B sample is diabolical. I think he has some clever punches in there, and then the flow is really dope. Dope mellow vibe, I like that song overall. This is It's Dark and Hell is Hot, R.I.P. DMX.
Ela quica, upa, ela senta no pocotó, upa, pocotó.
Why does it sound like SpongeBob?
Fica de quatro, nós bota sem.
This is the Two Live Crew touring in Bikini Bottom type music.
So told me I'm a dog, cause I'm a bitch, you say.
I don't know what's going on here.
On my knees and fuck a dog, but I'm not even fake. Baby, don't even speak.
Ela quica,
Bruh, I cannot take niggas thinking like this. They never met me but be on my dick. How you don't care what you got in the poop? How you don't care what you got in the poop? Smoking your face like I'm taking make sense. We just gon' way by, don't distance. I got all of my industry friends on my hands, on my niggas, they be in demand. I'm some rappers don't know what it is. If I show you a drink, I ain't playing with kids. You niggas looping on leaving.
Oh my goodness, 2024, man, we've lost a lot of people. Probably no deaths more prominent than the death of Drake. Oh my goodness. He said, if I show you the Drake, I ain't playing with kids. I heard Drake, Aubrey Graham, Draco show you the Drake flips, especially in battle rap. They use that to death. But dog, that is hilarious. Not gonna lie, Billie Eilish and that one girl from Stranger Things, they interviews on that Surviving Aubrey Graham documentary that's coming out in a couple years. That's gonna feed families.
Bullshit ain't worth
fica
leaving.
de quatro, nós bota sem.
What am I listening to? Bruh, I really don't know what I just listened to. It feels like me and that song was in a fight and that song was winning. I listened to a Jpegmafia album knowing what to expect, expecting to hear really, really jarring songs. This joint jarred me. This is how I imagine my wife feels listening to any other Jpegmafia song. That SpongeBob speaking Portuguese sample makes me like want to rip my toenail off. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I do not want to hear that song again. So well done, Jpegmafia. For what it's worth, that had my favorite bar on the whole album, the Drake line. We still smoking that Drake pack in 2025. Matter of fact, I'm a sicko. I want Kendrick Lamar to perform Meet the Grams at the Super Bowl. That's what type of time I'm on. No idea what type of time Jpegmafia is on with that song. Don't play that again for me. This is New Black History. Bro, is this Future? Sampling Future to these absurd synths is wild. If I'm Future, I don't even know if I'm clearing that.
That's was on walk like when the elephant in the room. Push trunk hold whatever niggas need to boom. By able to squabble to be over soon. I say what I do when I mean what I wanna do. These are my gangster chronicles. I'm like God MC, I'm the tried and true. Try me, dreaming I see you. Time to show and prove, I guess. Time to bust a new move, I guess. Scrolling through the tube with K West. See myself on the news, so let's don't get this
good.
good.
Motif where he ends with the it's fire. That sounds like something out of the Schoolboy Q playbook.
When I come around, better stare at the floor. Cause I'm in that mode. On my own, I got that flavor. Jonathan Major paper. Especially when y'all catching out with PDFs and rippers, no drizzy. I hope y'all paying attention. No, really, I die and I kill myself telling you.
It's on Drake's grave. Inject this in my face.
Rappers fell off, they ain't statements, make statements. They state this is peeing in cups. Ain't nobody freeing than us. Yeah, nah, they don't know us here.
Wow. This is why. This is hard. This is hard. You should have rapped over that. You should have rapped over that. That outro was crazy. Oh my goodness, he just styling at this point. Once again, taking things that have no business together and meshing them together. The Future sample, I don't know what song that is, but that sounds like Dirty Sprite era Future. Watch it not even be Future, but it sounded like Future. But I have him over those, I mean this respectfully, goofy sounding synths is crazy. Vince straight floated on his verse, man. All those flows that he got in were cold, and then Jpegmafia came in. I don't think he quite had the same flows that Vince Staples did, but what he liked in flows, he made up for with his aggression. Bro came through with that run the prison yard energy, but in his case, it's probably more like run the insane asylum yard. And then the outro to take that super abrasive sound and turn that into a beat, bro was just showing off. That song was tough, man. This is Don't Rely on Other Men.
I hear you went down. I hear you went
I like this grungy bass line right here.
Did you go down?
I had to get on my pop shit, I don't wanna start shit. These rappers is regular food. I put my bitch in compartment, she thinking in carpet, she can't fuck no regular dude. I don't know who told these wiggers they acting like niggas was ever the vibe of them. You know that, I know that. The black and the image, the white and the red.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, when the race wars go down, we're gonna pull Jpegmafia out like the big Joker. Bro got a lot of animosity.
Say that, say that. Wanna cry the brother to me back. If you hate my nigga, just say that. We can take this shit the veteran way. The Kimber, the Glock, the miniature trick. I ain't going nowhere, I'm right in your face. Make sure you be till a nigga.
The way he's chopping up this sample for the bass line is so tough. Normally when a producer will chop up a sample, he's chopping up the melody. And here Jpegmafia is chopping up the bass line. That's tough.
I am the LT, set it up with smack. Back to back on these bars like some battle rap. You ain't slinging no rock like candle max. You stay in the crib with your nigga. Wanna cry the boots of the Maybach. If you hate my nigga, just say that. Get your head off like I'm Cinderella. A shoot for you and you Cinderella. What's wrong with the ass up within the tail? I'm fucking that hoe, but she gotta tell her, get for real.
Bro, this majestic chord progression is crazy. I don't know where it came from. I love the instrumental here. It's dope seeing Jpegmafia's progression because normally in a rapper's career, it's better when they get more and more experimental. It seems like Jpegmafia's progression is him sounding more and more palatable. Not to the extent where it's taken away from any of his production and anything that makes him special. But I do like how he has that added element where he can give you a smoother, it's crazy we call it a song like that smooth. But the actual melody of this song was really smooth. So you have that element of smoothness mixed with the out of the box bass line there. With that down, down, down sample and the kick kind of working in tandem to be the bass. Only thing I didn't really care for that song is there wasn't too much lyrics there. I think the verses, if that's what you want to call them, was like 4 lines each. But then after the verses, they had a modulation to this beautiful, bright synth passage. And then right after that, it was another guitar solo. That's a tough song sonically. This is Vulgar Display of Power.
Shorty fucking rabbit style, says she need a low dose. I'ma take Klonopin and mix it with the no dose. Zero fear in it, got it tatted on my torso. Niggas getting for free and talking about it like they forced yo. Fuck about my DMs, nigga, I cannot endorse yo. The only time I fuck with amateurs is if it's porno.
That's hilarious. The F with amateurs line is hilarious. Come on, baby.
I bring the pain, I bring the pain.
Hey, Jpegmafia played a long game for sure. On Veteran, he had that song Rock and Roll is Dead just for this man to make his rock debut on this album. Hey, these guitars are sick though, I ain't gonna lie to you.
I bring the pain, I bring the pain. I'm at your neck, don't speak my name. I want respect, I'll keep the chain.
It's an interpolation of Method Man's Bring the Pain chorus. I like that a lot. Oh shoot, he actually sampled Method Man too.
Shorty wanna kick it with a mask. Showed her who I am and I should kick it with an activist. Inside Malcolm with the soul of a ratchet. Sash away that mini moon, brushed up on my Mandarin. You a latch.
I like that Malcolm with the soul of a ratchet shit line. Hey, bro, getting in that punk rock bag, he making that music that you can cuss your mom out to. God dang. I do respect the fact that he atoning for all the sins committed by rappers, because some of the worst albums of all time is rap rock fusions. But it's dope when a rapper can pull that fusion off successfully. And honestly, with how short these verses were, it really was less of a fusion, just a straight up rock song. I love the guitars here. I love the Method Man interpolation. I will say, like on the last song, I'm such a fan of Peggy as a rapper that I prefer when we get in bars from him. Even with the short verse, we still got that. Only time I ever amateurs is in a porno line, which was a bar. So my preference is a little more rapping, but I love the production on that one. This is Exmilitary.
I heard you got dirt on my country.
Bro, I'm a fan of anytime rap samples rap. I'm a huge fan of Wu-Tang anyway, so this tier sample right here is gonna do it for me.
I just bought a dirty piece. I just bought a dirty piece. My famo discouraged me. My exes threw dirt on me. It's the rap, the dirty sheets. It's the rap, the dirty sheets. I might scratch some numbers off.
He's really playing with the pitch of his voice throughout this album. It really adds an element to his songs that's not present in any of his previous albums. I think it's a really dope touch. It shows a level of detail to the album. It also, as if he needed anything else making these songs more dynamic, it adds another layer of dynamicism.
Feels like I'm fucking a hoe in the you living up there with uncertainty. For real. I promise before you go, I won't address you personally. But when them boys get to it, they gon' do it to you purposely. Abraham Raisi in the heli feeling foggy. Money, 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 it made me feel like I'm target. Going up like I'm.
This is a dope pocket to get in on this sample. It's a really slower paced beat. And he has, I won't call it a fast flow per se. I call it a 5 miles over the speed limit type flow. Hey, beat changes are an art, and it comes off the best when you take one element from the first beat and leave it there for the second beat. It's real subtle, but the plucks from that tier sample, I don't know if this is part of the actual sample. I don't know what song tier samples, but there's these plucks that is pretty much the exact same instrument that makes up the melody for the tier sample, which makes the beat change sound cohesive. Dope touch.
You niggas really be scaring the hoe. I scare the bros and got them like friends. Basic sobriety gives you a lens, but all I see is niggas playing pretend. You niggas bitches and need an assist. I run the game and I love when you break. I'm Luka Bitch, I'm not gonna miss your whole on tongue like the nigga.
Another thing that producers do that I really like is when a producer will keep the melody the same and switch up the drums. These are completely different drums from the drums that started the song. I don't even think the beginning of the song had drums. But regardless, it's different.
Baby shit, these bitch niggas always got their head down. Bitch ass nigga be down on the slide and they cry when they see your man down.
Bro, this nigga got lay off the drugs, man.
Bitch, I'm not just throwing paint at the wall. I don't do nothing but fall. I can't be racist, I'm chasing the pain and spending white faces on
bro, the harmonization going back and forth with guitar.
Run it up.
So this is like the
my bitch
third, no, this is like the fourth modulation.
All this bread and we all think it's a champ. I treat the bill like it's fair.
These distorted guitars right here. He's still adding elements to this beat. Extreme sound amazing. Hey, that song is sick. Yo, that song really felt like a ballad, and normally when you describe a song as being a ballad, it's because the lyrics tell this huge, sprawling story. And while the lyrics did have a personal touch, especially on the beginning of the song, and I'll get back to that, it felt like less of a ballad lyrically and more of the production told this long, sprawling story where you started that Wu-Tang tier sample and you had a slight modulation and then this huge beat change into this majestic beat that I think literally had harps in it somewhere. You go back to the tier sample and then another majestic beat comes in and then a guitar breakdown comes out of nowhere. You have that beat change in the outro. You really get an EP worth of beats in one song, and I think he was also really intentional with matching up the mood of whatever beat he was on with the lyrics at that point in time in the song. Like the opening to the song was the most personal bars when he was talking about feeling really isolated, ex-military, ex-friends, ex-family, all that stuff. And he was rapping over the Tears beat, which if you know that song, the chorus of it is after the laughter comes tears. But then as the song progressed, the beats got less moody and more abrasive or majestic, and his lyrics got more braggadocious as the song progressed. I also like that he peppered some punches through there too. That song right there might be the best one on the album. Definitely felt the grandest on the album. This is JIHAD, Joe.
Every time I get to sticking and I come around with that Kimber, I'm wearing a mask. These hoes still in their DJ phase, they cover
Bro,
up
those eerie sounds in the background behind those. Bro, I don't know what he got going on. It sounds like an organ with these really eerie, spooky, scary movie sounds behind it.
And I take all these dick riders, my bitch addicted to hating and kissing my ass. Damn it, you know I'm too much of a narcissist. Fuck on my reputation for a bag. Kelton, Draco, these are a few of my favorite bands. I'm slim shady, but I'm not a stand. Tracy McGrady, I jam in one hand. Raw nigga, do not be the pan. Talking that shit, cause you know I'm the one with the beats, the money, the drugs in the land. Godzilla and Kong with that mic in my hand. JIHAD Joe, I kicking that dough, better hit my line if the bombs don't land.
Bro, the siren is OD.
I'm so terminally online, goddamn, I don't respect myself.
It's crazy that on a rap album that's this avant-garde, it is the heavy metal, the rock influences that's making everything sound cohesive, because as outlandish as most of these samples have been and most of this production has been, that's been the one thing that's been consistent from song to song for the most part. I like the song on the first beat, but dog, once they got into that heavy metal, dog, that was OD. And then the fact that he was spitting straight gun bars over it, the contrast of that is so crazy. That's like if the drill rappers had Reddit. That's what it would sound like. God dang. I'm feeling that one too. This is JPEGULTRA.
We going around the world with it, and inside your girl with it, you feel me? Live out of your bitch body like my nigga Wayne say. And you know for Pete's sake, nigga, the boy Denzel Curry gotta do what it take. Okay, so I gotta be rude. No matter which way you go, you'll still be a square like a Rubik's Cube. See, I'm trying, nigga, I am that dude. Me and JP going AP.
That's hard. No matter which way you go, no matter which way you twist the Rubik's Cube, you'll still be a square. That's tough.
Me and JP going APE, so I got monkey bars, but this ain't PE. Everybody said I got ADD, but it never add up. I'ma count past 3. Matter of fact, one, all of this devil
that ADD add up. That's good wordplay.
Matter of fact, one, all of this devil shit from D to MC, but it's guaranteed to make a rep run. I jump, better get far or it's I stump.
That's a witty Run DMC flip right there. He said something like devilish, D to MC, guaranteed to make a rev run, guaranteed to make a reverend run.
Somebody from Street Fighter 6 on my neck, but you niggas never do it like this. Got a brand new all-go shit in a Kuma, hanging from a neck to a dick. Live and direct out your bitch pussy. County get spread counting, Lauderdale or Slaughterdale. You already know what the fuck it is. Hey Peggy, let me talk to him one time.
So grimy.
Niggas be begging for shit to be different until they get it, then they treat it indifferent. People projecting they bullshit on you cause they dissatisfied with the life that they live in. Niggas net worth be like $17 while they begging for features from shorties I've been with. I can sniff out your proximity, hoes always nasty.
This modulates to the stream passage right here. Come on, dog.
Now don't believe hype, believe what you see now what's said on the mic. Peggy Jolie, I kick out every time. Can't get me down so they try about the shine. Try fuck on my money, try fuck on my mind. They acting like fucking these bitches and crime. This ain't relatable, this ain't debatable. Something happened to you, it's by design. Look, on my knees for a God who can hear. I can't pray to no God I can fear. I think I should've ran me a cult. Quarterback that hole like I'm painting on coats. Fuck niggas yapping about me on they alt. But when I see you, it's degrees of assault. You say you see him, you catching the case. I hope not the one that you got in your boat, cause that shit is shaky. Heard the church service say come as you are, so I showed up with a whole bunch of bitches that hate me. I should talk my way right into a bag. You pussy in private, beg him for collabs. You pillow talking to these bitches is sad. I don't know whether to slap you or laugh. Shower posse, get that baby a bath. I know your label saw a cash grab. You got pop and turned hashtag. Stop yapping online cause you know where I'm at, little bitch.
Man, that's tough, dog. I could do a whole album with Jpegmafia and Denzel Curry together. They joint Vengeance is one of both of their best tracks, but Denzel straight floated over those super beefy horns. I like Zell's flow, but what really stuck out was he just was punching back to back to back on his verse. I think Peggy's first verse was pretty cool, but it was really that last verse that stuck out to me when the beat changed to that acoustic guitar with that really distorted, distant vocal sample layered over it. But I thought that verse was dope just because the personal touch and the way that he started was either the second or third time on this album where he used this pray to a god that blank motif. So with Peggy, who like 99% of his bars is about beating somebody up or shooting somebody, it's dope to hear him give him that introspective bag and hear him like wrestling with God and religion. So I thought it was another song, and this was another instance of him mixing in these less abrasive beats that are still extremely well produced. This is either On or Off Drugs.
Anytime you need it, she come through. Turn on the lights.
Can't wait to see how he abuses this sample.
I'm looking for.
Look, I ain't really into flashing. I feel like an accident I'm never chose. Baby talking voice of passion. I feel like it's corny if you ain't on codes. Cause either on or off the drugs, my energy is Tony Powder in his nose. And either on or off the drugs, my energy is Dawn Magic with the hoes. Cause I've been boxing with the drugs. I got a good chin like James Tone. Niggas be putting your boy in a box, they be acting like cops. I can never
Man, he ain't messed with the guitars yet, but he's been teasing this more introspective side on other songs, but it really seems like he's diving into it here with him getting this concept of he's wrestling with his thoughts, whether he's on drugs or off drugs.
The streets and my mind is filled with demons. That's why I be eating these bitches like Sarah and Tegan. Cause distractions hitting every season. These niggas just rob no reason. It's not just a facade that I can see, or standing up for guys I don't believe. I'm Michael Jackson dancing in the mirror. The only one who can see me is me. The only one who...
The Michael Jackson dancing in the mirror joint is so layered, because now we know Michael Jackson was a workaholic and he killed himself working and doing drugs, which Peggy is alluding to.
Some of you niggas be talking right out of the side of your neck, and I can't believe that they be gassing these little hoes. Some of you niggas be sitting around all day hating on niggas they never met. I just feel sad for you, little bro. Baby, you know when I'm wildin' out, I make a mess. I keep the candle like Nick, put my bitch in the vest. What did that last one contribute but pussy and stress? Nothing.
God dang, that song is tall. Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you though, that song was like in them Disney Channel movies when the dude be bullying folks, and then you find out that like the bully dad is an alcoholic and he be beating them, and that basically he be bullying folks cause he going through stuff. This is what this song is. He spent all that time shooting folks on them first 10 tracks, and now we see the more sensitive side of them. But hey, this is a cold song, man. This is off the top of my head the most introspective song by him. Just a super vulnerable track of him feeling all these inadequacies and dealing with them through drugs, but with that motif pretty much saying that he's going through these same thoughts regardless of if he's on drugs or not. And then it all culminated with those last lines on that first verse that said, I hope my son ain't this week, I hope my daughter ain't this week, which is really an emotionally heavy bar. And then the beat here was the perfect backdrop to it. Moody vocal sample, and then the Turn of the Lights lyric in that vocal sample I think fit the song really well. Excellent song, man. One of the best on this album, but top 1, 2, or 3 song on this album. This is Loop It and Leave It. That is not what he's been doing on this album.
Y'all know I got scuffles ahead of me. When I speak in my mind, it's unsettling. I know living with feelings is delicate. Fly the plane when you feed them their medicine. Got the doctor subscribing his ketamine. Cause it's more than these shadows I'm wrestling. Trip my bitch in deep.
Bro, we got this is the rap version of when Carlton was dancing fast.
Work so much you think Peggy was Mexican. They still thinking that Peggy a joke. Got procedures in place for the heckling. When they want to speak, this is a veteran. I'm like Kelly, Beyonce, Michelle. Say my name or I can't really tell. Niggas rap like they cast in the
Destiny's Child line to the Say My Name flip, because Say My Name is a charm by Destiny's Child. That's a good flip.
4-5 on the hip, ready pronto. 2 cups champagne and a rhino. Weapons registered, ready to unload. We don't use them, we beat them like Harpo. All my bitches in love with the cocoa. Got my side bitch tipping Jack Harlow. All my bad hoes bringing that work home straight to my game of chair. 5'9" knocking out hoes as tall as Angel Reese, I don't care.
This piano has no business being that beautiful. It's crazy because as this album progresses, it really feels like we're witnessing Peggy progress as an artist. And while some of that's because we're getting these introspective cuts like the either on or off drugs, but what he's doing production-wise is just artistry. We witnessed this album go from the really abrasive sounds on the beginning of the album to sounding almost like an orchestra in these last couple of songs. In this song in particular, you have those out-of-the-box, spacey, ethereal sound effects, but under it is a gorgeous string passage, these gorgeous pianos, and then you got this pretty fast-paced drum loop that's bringing everything together, tying everything together. First verse was cool, but I was really rocking with that second verse. I like the flow in there. He had some witty punches in there. I'm rocking with the sequencing of the album. Good song. This is Don't Put Anything on the Bible, for real, because y'all boys, I be lying. God dang.
Fuck out the deep end, go get you a flow. Y'all niggas always be doing the most. Black Michael Phelps just acknowledged the stroke. God level Libra, I swim with ghosts. I switched the channel and lost the remote.
Hey, I like that Black Michael Phelps acknowledged the stroke, which is probably a double entendre for sex. But the way he set that punch up with you out on the deep end in the first line and then the swim with the ghost right after it, so you have this swimming motif to play into the Michael Phelps line.
If I don't know nothing, no one thing is set. Never react to the demographic with the swag of a cashier and Radio Shack. Talking to soul like when you start running and feeling look back. New niggas making it trendy to trauma bond. Self-oppression is deeper than rap.
Trauma by line is facts. Bro, this album could have been called either On or Off Drugs, because this whole album feels like a really intense trip, and now we're coming down on these last couple of songs. That opening instrumental with Buzzy Lee's vocals was majestic. Play that at the pearly gates, dog. But I even like that second beat and a sober, concise Peggy who has critiques on society, the online culture, all of that throughout all of his projects. But it's been a lot less shocking all on this album and a layer of seriousness to his critiques, which goes hand in hand with how serious I think his production has been on a lot of this album. I'm rocking with this song. I'm loving this album. Let's go ahead and close this thing out with I Recover From This.
Not that I don't love my bitch, but I don't love these side hoes neither. She throwing that shit back at me and I'm catching it like I'm a wide receiver. I know these my bitch never got taken from me. I lost her myself. My bitch never got comfort from me. I needed too much help. I can't do 1 hour a week. I think I need more help. I don't think I need no more fixing. I'll just heal myself. Argument comes with a cost. Every dub ends up in a loss. Gotta keep the facade of a boss. Every picture developed is tossed. I know bitches that I'll never talk to. I got exes, I'm still fucking raw. I've been stuck in a car with the child lock, trying to break out and answer the call. Can you hear it?
That child lock line is tough. The imagery on that line pretty much alluding to the fact that the negative behaviors he has is a part of his childhood and not dealing with that.
Niggas get mad at me when I call out the hating, cause they hating, no debating. All on my dick and you know we ain't dating. Bitch nigga, let's face it. We came up out the mud, still got dirt on our faces. Now we counting new faces. White girl slide on the pole, I'm throwing her faces. I can never, it's not that I don't love my bitch, but I don't love these side hoes neither. She throwing that shit back at me and I'm catching it like I'm a wide receiver.
God dang, well that's one of them albums that you like stand up and do the slow Disney Channel clap to. Goodness, bro, to think that this album started how it started with that first track, with how experimental, abrasive, out of the box, to think that he had that Freddie Gibbs diss track on here on the same album that he has this. Sonically, we're in a completely different place than we started. Lyrically, we're in a completely different place than we started. And the sequencing and how intentional everything was to lead up to this point. I'm rocking with this one. Smooth, majestic track. He peeled out even more layers and showed even more vulnerability. And I think that almost perfectly ties a bow up on this album. Overall, man, this thing is special. First and foremost, the fact that Jpegmafia is able to shock me with his albums at this point in his career, where you've had a Black Ben Carson, a Veteran, a Scaring the Host, all these albums that are extremely forward-thinking, extremely groundbreaking. You would think after you hear an album like Veteran that there's not much more that he can do that surprises you, and he continues to do that. And not only that, but this also is, in my opinion, his most ambitious project. We've seen that he can get in that experimental avant-garde bag. We've seen that he can take ridiculous samples and flip them. We've seen that he can turn just straight up noise into cohesive tracks. But this is the first time really seeing that he can build narratives just with his instrumentals, that he can storytell with his instrumentals. The modulation, the beat changes here, they aren't just here for shock value, they actually here to invoke emotions. I think this is one of those special albums where the sum of the parts is better than each individual track, where you definitely did have some standouts like Exmilitary, either on or off drugs, the Vince Staples track, the Denzel Curry track, but it was really that progression from the bravado and the abrasiveness of the beginning of the album, both sonically and lyrically, to the more smoother, vulnerable, harmonious tracks on the end of the album. This joint was just it. If I had to have a knock on this album, it is really a personal preference thing, but I think that Jpegmafia is such a talented rapper. I think he's underrated as a rapper, and his biggest strength is his ability to punch. And while there were definitely punches there, we had a lot of tracks on here where the rapping really took a back seat to the production. He's talented enough a rapper to do both at the same time, and he chose not to do that at certain points on this album. I also think some of his other projects, Scaring the Hoes, Cornballs, and Veteran, also had bigger moments lyrically. And by bigger moments, I more so mean just like big, memorable punchlines that this album didn't necessarily have. But what you get in exchange for that is that level of introspection that you don't get on those other albums. It's hard to place exactly where this falls ranking-wise with his other albums, but it's in the conversation with any of his other projects, and that's saying a lot. This album feel like a 9 out of 10 to me. This joint is special.